you take that now, or you can speak to it later.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this Steuben County Insurance Board meeting, February 17th, 2026. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Approved January 2026 regular meeting. Okay. First and second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, second item.
No, I got all those other minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we'd separate them. Yeah, sorry. So we did the January 20th. Second item is the number 547 Frank Deller maintenance hearing. Second. First and second. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Item number 3, the number 598 Sam Allen maintenance hearing, part 2. Second. First and second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Signatures.
Is it by order on that one?
The final order, we kind of approve it at the end of the hearing. It's up to you guys if you want to go ahead and make another motion for it or just sign it.
Okay, that sounds good. Sign it.
Last page.
Okay, item number 2, the Sierra Nova Development Phase 1.
Not off the draft, sir. This thing is only a couple minutes old. This we did that from the show. Good afternoon. I'm Ken Wilson, representing Steuben County Development, as the developer of the property, also GICI as the contractor that will be doing the work. I've also brought with me Justin Hoffman from Brooks Engineering, Brooks Construction, who is the engineer of record. To kind of give you a little bit of a backstory on this, we acquired this property which is the old Nielsen property between Myers and Walmart in early 2024. One of the very first phone calls that I made on this property was to IDEM, a gentleman by the name of Evan White, which actually started conversations before they even informed the city. That's how long this has been going on. What you have there in front of you is an email correspondence from our wetland consultant, Chad Appleman, and some corresponding information there directly from IDEM. IDEM has been in an absolute state of disasters, payroll, personnel issues. Evan White abruptly resigned a while ago. Whether he left the department or went up the chain, it didn't really matter, but it's been a cluster to say the least. This correspondence kind of sheds some light on why we haven't received the formal approval from IDEM. It is forthcoming. It's just jamming on with some major issues. Hasn't really been the major issue up to this point. It's the chicken and the egg. The city wants drainage approval, IDEM approval, NDOT approval. You guys want city approval, IDEM approval. IDEM, obviously wants the consultants. But now we are here. We lost all of 2025, kind of waiting on several things, but now we're here, kind of forced the issue of the drainage board hearing today for a couple of reasons. One, so back early in 2025, we submitted to this body our final engineering plans. And actually, right after IDEM approval back in early 2025, of course, I came to this board and asked for preliminary approval, which you did grant. We also came back to this body asking for preliminary approval for the east-south pond that's sitting behind the wheel these Tuesdays, which you granted. In order to get the final approval from the drainage board, you asked for I'm assuming a consultant or an engineer from the county surveyor's department to look at, which has taken a long time. They've responded twice, we responded twice, but in this last response, I figured it was just best that I come to the board, offer up my opinion, because we're clearly at an impasse of what their interpretation is, what we want to do versus what we need to do. That's my layperson's opinion. There might be some technical reasons why, but it is my understanding that what he is, the consultant, is asking for is how did we come up with our maximum amount of water that is coming into the development and leaving the development. The first request, we responded back with the calculations of how Justin came up with that. He responded back and he said, that's great, but we would like to see a natural overflow path because we don't agree with your calculations. Okay, this is a layperson trying to do the story. You can certainly back that with Justin. But if you have water that is coming into the development through two pipes, the maximum amount of water that can come into that development are through those pipes. That's what we determined was all this coming in. It's not coming in any other way other than those two pipes. Now, granted, you have the ditch in the middle of it, but the water that's coming in is coming through two pipes. He also asked for an upstream study to verify that those two pipes are adequate. And not my issue. That's an issue that's already been looked on, somebody else's problem. But if you take the maximum capacity that those two pipes come in, which is the one coming your county ditch, I don't know what the name of it is, coming from Walmart, and then the apartment complex discharge that comes in at that same intersection, and then you take the maximum amount of water that would come from our development, which would be the overflow of our pond, which that detention pond has obviously a capacity beyond a 100-year flood, and it has an overflow past spillway on it. I'm not quite sure how we can generate any more water than that. Conversely, the overflow path that he's suggesting would, in my opinion, just be horrible. It'd be almost what you have there now, just because of the sheer length of travel that it would have to go over ground by the time you got back down to where it crosses North Wayne Street. You'd have about the same distance you have back now, which would completely destroy that particular property and what we're trying to accomplish. So, two things of my ask here today. One is that you formally approve the plans that we submitted, along with our drainage calculations that we submitted, and that you take our engineering over the recommendation of the consultant. I don't know if the consultant was recommending or just offering an opinion. We'll let Jim offer up his opinion on that. And then number two, recognize the difficulties that we're having down at IDEM in the personnel department, that this permit is forthcoming. It's just a matter of just getting through, the new people that are in that particular department. That's the email and the correspondence that I sent you from there. So you being in government, you may appreciate and understand a little bit of the language of what that means and who those personnel are. That this is not just a clerk that's responding to our request.
So when you've done the calculation, or the calculation, how many acres outside of this or through those pipes or whatever drain through this property? I mean, it's not just the property itself that you're worried about drainage, it's the drainage coming from the two pipes that are to the adjacent properties. So it's all that square footage, all that acreage that is draining through that property itself.
So that's what we picked up in our internal piping system, storm piping system to our detention pond. So we took, obviously the water that's coming to us through the
John Cracks.
John Carson drainage pipe along with the apartments. We took all of that water plus all of our water, which is approximately 57 acres of development. So if you take what you see from North Wayne, there's 35 acres there that all sheds under this development towards the west. There's probably another 10, 15 acres as you go into the back 70 acres that also sheds to the west. The rest of it sheds to the northeast. So we've encompassed all that into our pond. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, because it's not just, the acreage that development sits on, it's anything that
That's correct.
runs that direction. And take into consideration the added hard surfaces and everything else that you're gonna have.
Yes,
It really does increase the amount of flow that goes through that ditch.
that's correct.
I think there was a question too with the existing county retention pond. There was talk or discussion about maybe swapping some land or putting a road there.
So that's really would be what we would call phase 2 or phase 3. Some further conversations with the city. I mean, that's not really.
It's not part of the phase 1.
But the water that's currently in that is not affected by this. I mean, it ultimately goes into the pipe, right? From Walmart, you go into that cattail pond, they're behind Ruby Tuesdays, and it's piped from there into, goes to the north to our property, which we are picking up. So to answer your question, Michelle, so that was the last time I was thinking there about possibly just making a land swap, expanding that pond to make it even bigger so that the road that we continue on from Cerno Development to Northcrest could be straightened up to align with the Walmart internal driveway.
Yeah.
Yes, you have it with us, right? Okay, forgive me. I just got it. Sorry.
So I think one of my questions was also that when it leaves your development there and it goes under 127 to the west toward Lake James, whether there's sufficient volume in that drainage system to handle this, all the amount of water that's going through there.
Yeah, so we're not adding any, I'll defer to Justin for some more technical questions, but we're not adding any more than what's there now. So we're retaining, all of our water to the city's ordinance, and then some to handle plenty of flow.
You're gonna 1-to-1 ratio basically for.
Again, I don't want to necessarily say 1-to-1, but Justin.
It's So with our pond calculations, we follow the guidance of the existing 10-year flow for a rain event. So it's essentially a smaller rain event, a 2 or 2.5 inch rain event, and how much water goes into that pipe now from our site. And that's the maximum amount of flow that can be discharged from our pond, but for a 100-year event, which is more like a 5.7 or 5.8 inch event. So in a heavier rain, they're gonna see less flow than they have now coming from the 35 acres from our property. Anything to the south and the upstream part of the John Croxton drain is contained within the existing 36-inch pipe. If I remember from maps, John Croxton extends maybe another 1,000, maybe 1,200 feet south of our property, but it's all piped. It's all developed land. It goes across the Walmart property. It goes a little bit farther south than that, I believe, as well. So all of that, as far as we can tell, it's contained within that 36-inch pipe. Even the small pond to the south connects to that 36-inch pipe before it discharges on our property. So overall, the watershed downstream as it crosses under 127 or North Main Street is not going to be any more than what's going on right now in a fully developed condition.
Got a lot of water.
It's a big pond.
Yeah, the pond's, like Ken mentioned before, the pond shed area is approximately 50 acres. And the pond is designed with about an extra 1 foot of storage. Just because it's basically because it can't. We said, let's go ahead and store beyond the 100-year rainfall for that. So in order for an overflow situation to occur, we'd have to have a greater than a 100-year rain event, and we would need our pond system, the discharge system, to fail in order for it to truly have an overflow system. Which the likelihood of both of them happening at the same time are low, but obviously it's still possible. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chairman.
Well, happening. Jim, do we know what the idea behind the consulting?
Sure. So again, that was just consulting. Second opinion, if you will.
Right.
To go and do that. So again, that's, their opinion. One thing I will add too is that I don't remember or know of any backed up water in my time anyways. I don't know if Michelle does, but I can't remember that the water was ever backed up. But I will say that was clean downstream. We had sufficient enough money in there to go in there, and it was pretty rough and hairy, full of a lot of trees and down logs, and we've done that for preventative maintenance to handle this. Again,
You said that was downstream?
that's correct. So this will flow all the way to Lake James through the golf course. And so we cleaned all the way from where we could, meaning we can't get any closer than a half mile or a quarter mile to the lake, Michelle, without special permitting.
A half mile.
So we were north of that, obviously, so kind of behind Mulligan's. And again, that had not been touched in quite some time. I believe Larry Gilbert, when he was still in office, he had been instrumental in putting some 2-stage ditches in there to make that last. Again, we've done our part, and if the calculations are ran as Mr. Hoffman has presented, I guess that's all I can say. I don't have any.
You have an issue with this?
I do not have any issues now.
We just mostly have to have that information from IDEM, unfortunately, until we allow him to enclose it.
And I
I do
guess-
have a consent waiver already.
Yeah. There is a comment sheet here from the plan review. I believe Amanda's here too. There's some comments. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's in your pamphlet too. And I will say too, I'm gonna kind of simplify it a little bit, but basically the backside of Walmart and Meyer, it runs to the west to Lake James. And the backside of Meyer and Walmart, it runs back to the east. There's kind of a ridge line that's run through there, kind of. Obviously, the ridge line may move a little bit back and forth, but I kind of hope simplifying that. But that would be in this, whatever phase that may be, the secondary part of the stage, so. Phase, rather. And you guys, I believe, are doing not just one detention pond, there's several detention ponds in the first phase, am I correct?
Just one big.
There's just one big one, okay.
Yeah, Amanda, do you have anything to add to this or?
No, we have worked through almost everything with Ken and Justin. So they meet our ordinance for their development, what they're retaining, what they're discharging. Obviously, because it discharges to your legal drain, that's why they're here. So in the part that we can regulate, we're good with. I mean, there are some outstanding comments and approvals that they still need to submit, but it's nothing major.
Thank you.
Those outstanding comments, just so that we don't just keep, generating paperwork. We have all those comments, we're just waiting on. And that's the most significant one. And they have a presentation, it's just a personal, I just think they're just extremely slow.
Understood.
And if I might add, I do not believe that your consultant questioned our calculations as much as he just wanted to know what was going on upstream. Again, our argument is there's no more water that can come to our site that's coming out of the pipe. As Justin mentioned, it's piped well south of Walmart. So it's not like it's just a road crossing of the pipe. It's well piped. And no question that the next phase behind Ruby Tuesdays, that will, and further, we talked about having that to be a wet pond and water features in it as opposed to what it is now.
I will say too, I believe Walmart has, am I right in saying 2 detention ponds, one in the north and one in the west? Or the east, rather?
Just the north.
I personally have never seen that one to the east ever over flood. Again, it hasn't been 100 years, but and we haven't found very good documentation as far as the release. I mean, we don't know much about those pipes running underneath, so unfortunately, the city or the county does not know much about those pipes, unfortunately, that are running. So again, it flows from the south to the north and eventually gets to Lake James.
Gentlemen, what do you want to do?
Just can't allow the enclosure of the ditch until we get IDEM.
Correct.
But you can approve his final claims.
You think we'll get that in the next? It looks like it's on high priority.
It is. So obviously from a sequencing standpoint, again, we'd like to order the structures, get them made, get the piping, the enclosure of the ditch wouldn't happen until final connection is made and we can reroute it. So there's a lot of work that has to happen prior to that. So it's not, if you made approval today, we wouldn't be closing it up today. We need to get the pipe installed and be in that date. It's going to take a while.
My idea will be mid-March at the earliest, probably.
Yeah, and once you have, I guess if you have the final size and everything too, I can add that to the consent and waiver so that we can at least get that done, because that's gonna give you permission to enclose the ditch.
The final size, is that what you said?
I think you said it was a 36.
Well, it's staged. It starts 36, 40.
Well, what's actually inside the open drain itself?
I think it's 36 going into the property, but it opens up ditch and then it's a 60,
48.
it's 48.
It's 48 on site and it's a 60-inch crossing.
Okay.
So
I mean, obviously, chicken and the egg. I need enough that when I get on the end of her last three items, that we can obviously proceed in moving. So these are motion structures.
We approve, but subject to IDEM's approval before the ditch is closed.
There, motion?
Yeah.
A second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. Thank you.
At the same time, it was a little bit of a.
NEPSCO update for the old 27 and County Road 600 South. Ready to go? Please.
Okay, so I heard you guys stopped in the other day and looked at it. That's good. We are at a letter from NIPSCO that they're wanting to cut a lump sum of money. However, we passed that on to our attorney and he had some questions and concerns. Don, would you explain that?
Yep, yep,
They had
very
an
modified.
indemnification provision in there, so anybody else made a claim that, talking to Jim, there may be property owners that have a claim. And that means you would have had to pay it, so they took that language out. And apparently they accepted it, or,
Well, we took out the language and then sent it to you to
Yeah.
see what you thought, and then I don't know if Blake sent it back to them or not, but this is your opinion on your side. And it was up to who wanted to sign it.
But that's the language taken out of it, signed and approved by Don.
yeah, there was a paragraph, a 4-line paragraph of indemnification.
Because I know the landowner was seeking some possible reimbursement for damages to his electrical equipment for his irrigation and that, so that it would save us from that, so. And I guess the question is who actually signs that then?
Actually, well, it's county commissioners, but they're here.
Yeah.
I think they can only release,
And then I had a conversation with the contractor, who, and obviously in a job like this, it's very difficult to get 2 or 3 different bids, which I was glad NIPSCO understood that too. So I did have a conversation that, hey, we're getting ready to go. And also too, then I'm gonna try to squeeze out, we're gonna be crunching it, but then I think we have enough funds to not only hook onto that new boring pipe underneath the road and be able to run new all the way to the open ditch. So we have new. I checked it. I looked at it. We looked at it. It's gonna be tight, but
set up for one signature, so it's the commissioners that are releasing.
It also,
Not a drainage board, so it'd be willed.
yeah, witness and a notary as well.
Well, Alex has got 3 o'clock, so
Witness or notary.
It's at 3, as he stated.
I don't know. So you can come back then.
Well, let's decide what we're gonna do with it first. Probably pretty easy. So as presented, you're okay without indemnification laws?
Hey, if you're satisfied with the dollar amount.
$91,000 we'll get.
that's correct.
the work done that's needed without.
Contractor's still okay with that? It's been a while since he did that.
That's correct. I can go ahead, yes. Again, I just had a verbal from him, but again, I 100% believe he's on board. It's just now, it's obviously gonna be rainy, slimy, nasty weather, and hopefully we can get this done. And I believe we can before grass.
So we're real close to that.
Yeah. So work on that pretty quickly.
And I really want to give a pat on the back to our highway superintendent, our highway engineer, Chip, who is really instrumental in
Persuading us to move
Yeah,
forward.
very good, very well said, yeah. Yeah, so that was good, because it was kind of in his right of way. It's the drainage board, it's our tile, but it's in the highway right of way, and again, Mr. Chip Porter did a great job as far as moving that along.
Don't know, you satisfied?
We're satisfied with the dollar amount. Approve.
First and second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Nice.
Do we need to also, a motion for him to sign up for, or is that a given?
I think it's given.
Okay.
So I will go ahead and contact the contractor, the excavating contractor, and then how will that work? My understanding is
Either witnessed or notarized, so maybe a witness will suffice. So like,
See where they are.
Okay, looks like, yeah.
Whether they're gonna go into the commissioners or whether it's gonna go direct to drainage. Okay.
Okay.
The auditor, I'm sure will have a comment on that.
She will, that's a good explanation number.
please have your signature notarized or verified by a witness, it says in the very bottom here.
Memorized or
Please have your signature notarized or verified by a witness.
There you should be e-verified.
Yeah. Is that what it's called? Oh, okay.
We good?
You okay with that? I'm okay with that. So I'll sign it and then you can witness it. Sure.
All right.
There you go.
That's a chairman.
I don't know, I think he costs more than the notary,
Anyways. I guess we didn't ask if it
Sorry,
was a
that-
notary in our.
I apologize. I've heard every lawyer, so in 52 years, I've heard them.
we actually do have another in the building, but they don't like to advertise it very often.
Where are you at? That's who they were
That's the
gonna
person in the
go.
room.
That's who they were gonna go.
Oh, okay. It's in the right place here. That only took, what? A year?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Rick.
Okay, well, let's not,
So it's fixed.
Get her to the finish line. Gotta get it
Yeah, we gotta get that.
before we lose that whole road.
all right, item number 4, the certification of maintenance assessments. Total collection of assessments.
Yes, this is just for our drains, does not include the county, joint drains, road, Shrimpland. That was the total amount of what we're gonna collect for 2026 is $722,613.68.
Is that up from obviously last year?
Well, yes, all the hearings we had. So, yeah, all of them are gonna be affected this year.
Okay.
So just for the record, we, through all the assessments that we've had, we generated an extra 266,000 per year, and then 4 year, we went over $1 million, so.
Well, let's put that to good use.
I need a.
There's still more to do.
Grading for assessment certification pay 2026.
Second.
First and a second, any further discussion?
On these as well.
Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
We have a list, I believe, of each individual drain that we're gonna be collecting on for them.
On all of those?
Well, yeah, there should have been one included, yes, those are all
Oh, no, I thought you said there's signature for each one of those.
the, there used to be,
Really?
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Good stamp out.
Yeah, that's what we had to do. Take a long time.
All right, item number 5, the consent for variance for James and Kyra. Just want to put a drive,
Yeah.
gravel drive over their tile, over the tile, right?
Yeah, they just bought this property not that long ago
Yeah.
and when I have access to start clearing some of the property, I don't know what their eventual plans are, but.
Plan on building a house down out there eventually.
So far, right now, it's a gravel
Got a
drive.
new tile.
No, so in fact, if you remember right, we were having issues with 600 pretty much being underwater next to it. So we were able to clean all, am I looking at this right, Michelle? This is 600 East. Oh,
That Painter Alley.
yeah, and then, but it doesn't show the open ditch. It must just stop. So if you look at this line here, Will, this is actually an open ditch that starts here and it goes all the way. So I must not have clicked the right one. But yeah, that's all maintained all the way to, basically, I believe that, doesn't that go into the Jordan Shrimpin?
They don't have an open drain there. It's just all tile.
That's drained to the west.
Well, no, Michelle, isn't that Jeff Sterling's property?
He's over in that watershed, but this is, I think, farther east than
But
he
he
is.
lives right on 600 East and 120. So this, if we'd have the beacon, that turns into open ditch, or.
I can pull it up. Can I pull it up?
Pull it up.
Now it is all his tile.
Say it shows on tile.
There's a road right away. Is that what you're looking at?
Oh,
No, but that flooded across the road.
They have that pond.
Right. We don't have our technical guy here either.
hey,
Pardon? Yeah.
I can do it.
somebody had pulled up here, but time I had it as saved.
It looks like it's near the start of the tile
It does.
and that drains to the west, right?
Correct.
So you're not really going over a whole lot. It's, as long as it's functioning, and it's a gravel driveway, so it's not a huge deal to take it up if you have to.
Well, again, it's gravel for now, but there is no permits needed to hard surface it over the top of it either, so.
That's why they have a variance though too that they sign. So if we have to destroy it, it's too bad.
And click on your open ditches and tile drains over to the left too.
I will, Jim.
Okay, all right.
I'm not picking up any ditches. It looks like it's all tile
It opens.
until it gets way to the west.
That's it right there, right?
Your legends, you need
Yeah.
to click open ditch and tile. drains.
Yep.
It looks like once it gets,
Not too far.
once it gets to the west, it's way over here. Yeah, see, you can see where it goes solid.
Yep, right here.
Yeah, and that was all just cleaned with the last, yeah, see there it shows.
Yeah.
I don't know why it clicks up on this map, but yeah.
Yeah. And they start.
So, yeah,
That was flooding right there
Yeah.
at 600.
Right here.
That's correct.
Yeah, that was
And so
flooding.
that's all clean now.
There's a little spot there. Yeah,
Well, it had the truck traffic, you know, so.
we're right at that corner, it's flooding.
Right, yeah, you're right up here.
We'll even, yeah,
But it starts right here. And then
That's correct.
Property, so, yeah. There's not much.
There's not
going
a
in.
whole
well,
lot.
there's a lot of surface water on there too. If you look up there, 120, the state really put in some culverts and some waterways to drain it from the north as well too. But
Yeah,
again, I believe we got that issue taken care of.
right. Okay.
So yeah, There's no red flags. I was gone for surgery, but I discussed it with Michelle and that too, and don't have any concerns at this point. There's no red flags.
First and second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Nice. That is it. Anything else?
Need signatures on that as well. And that's one that we started charging an application fees.
You did. I did. And you did as well.
Okay. I set them down and I go, did I sign it?
Yeah, make sure I get all my stuff back.
And you're getting. So. Anything else, Jim?
I don't think so, other than a reminder, we do have a joint, that's just for Vic, and I guess no, I don't have anything,
It's for Andy and Rick. And then also, we're gonna see if, on the 3rd, March 3rd, if it'd be okay to have a Pigeon Creek meeting, but to kind of piggyback. Maybe at 2:30, because we have to certify the George Shrimp and draining, and I don't know what else.
When's
really.
our joint meeting?
the 5th.
The 5th is on a Thursday, that's a joint decals.
That will be the same day as the St. Joe River meeting,
That's what I was thinking.
so depending on what you're gonna do, I will send somebody in my place as a proxy, I assume you may too, and maybe we can kill two birds with one. I don't want to pay for you, but
What's that?
The joint was.
I'll send Charlie if you send Clint, if you wanna do that, so.
Just send one of them. I'll be on the hook for cookies.
On the 3rd, a regular meeting, and Pigeon Creek, I think you're on that one.
So,
As long as you're informed.
What time was ours
supposed to be? March 3rd, obviously.
March 3rd, yeah, and then we're gonna piggyback the
They're
Pigeon
both on the
Creek.
same office, I'll see where they need to go.
On the 3rd?
And then March 5.
Either you and Charlie are on, or right through.
That's shrimp.
The Pigeon Creek is shrimp, right?
Oh, okay. What's March 5? What,
That's the joint with DeKalb
or,
for the Frank
Yeah, I
Nelson.
was gonna check to see if that was actually one just about, was that on the calendar or was that?
No, it
two?
is, yeah, so.
I didn't.
are we getting something accomplished there?
I think we're gonna try to schedule a meeting with the Terry Lake residents with that watershed to discuss whether they want to try to pursue a reconstruction, because I think the cost is outweigh the benefits. It's hundreds of thousands.
What time is that March 5?
It is at 9:30.
That's right. Okay.
Glad to get
So
up and going.
Andy and Will, and then Jim Mert for Pigeon Creek. Is that good then? 2:30
On the 3rd.
for 3rd,
What's the 5th? What's the time for the 5th?
9:30 a.m. And I'll already warn you that Chad Danik wants to come on 3rd and has a huge presentation.
Yeah, there's a big email for.
Yeah, I emailed you a bunch of stuff that he got from we've been working with an engineer, a consulting firm, and he's trying to get some permission from IDEM to be able to put something within our ditch. It's also gonna be on the county property and the highway right away, so he wants all of them invited to this meeting. I sent you
I am
all
so
the stuff.
sorry that I can't go to that one.
That is March 3rd. So yes, this is a regular. meeting.
No, it's not. Well, I have to,
First.
yeah, recess.
So you did get all that set.
Yeah.